if you compare level 1 and level 2,
Correct.
what has been your experience in terms of how different is level 2?
Level 2 is totally different than level 1.
Now, when you started your preparation for level 2 in May, how many hours you were giving every single day?
So, on an average, it was close to 2.5 to 3 hours.
Okay. And throughout this entire preparation, found yourself demotivated?
Your aim is to complete the whatever success you want.
So because you cleared level 1, level 2 both in first attempt.
Correct.
And doing that with a job with around 13 years of experience
Correct.
is tough. So again, how did time management happen? How did you manage it throughout both the levels?
So first thing is it was not very easy. Some of the questions, the answer felt very similar. So
all the options are very similar.
Yeah, you can say 3 options were similar. So it was very difficult to.
Okay. Out of say around 60 theory questions, how many questions were very tough or moderately tough as per your understanding?
Close to 50% of it was little tough, and last one too. The rest of them were
market risk, credit risk, second quartile, everything is in third quartile.
Right.
So very close game, because if you would have got a fourth quartile in any of the operation risk and credit, the chances would have been bad.
Right.
So interesting case. Now, if I ask you if you can give 3 tips from your experience of how to prepare for level 2. Hello guys, I hope everybody is doing good. Hi, this is Ganesh Nayak. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also help students preparing for competitive exams in finance like CFA, FRM and SCR. And today I'm back with one of my students' interview. He has been able to clear the FRM Level 2 November attempt. Ashish will guide us what has been his journey of clearing the exam. So Ashish, first of all, thank you very much for taking out time.
Thank you, sir.
For the benefit of the audience, if you can tell a brief about you, and when did you give your level 1 exam, and when did you started your preparation for level 2?
Okay. My name is Ashish Shetty, and I work for an investment bank, and I've been working for last 13 years. And as a professional, I started my journey with you around November 23, wherein I gave my level 1 exam.
Right.
And after that, in the month of May, close to April or May end, wherein I started my level 2 prep for the November 2024 exam.
Perfect. So if you remember, what was your quartile in level 1?
So in level 1, it was 1331.
Okay.
So, okay. 1 for VAR and
foundations.
Correct.
And the rest two books were 3. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Now, when you started your preparation for level 2 in May, how many hours you were giving every single day?
So on an average, it was close to 2.5 to 3 hours. So,
okay.
Later on in the exam period, last 1 month or so, it was close to 4 hours.
Okay, so you were giving that 2.5 hours post your office or before going to the office?
So it was split between before and after. So my office timing is in between. Europe timing, you could say.
Okay.
Wherein I used to study close to 1.5 hours before going to office, and after coming close to 1 hour.
Okay. When you started preparing, so what was the order that you followed?
Okay, so I started in the same order which you were teaching. So I started off with the operational risk and market risk and liquidity risk that way. But then what happened is, when I started with operational risk, it felt a little boring. So 1 or 2 chapters I started, and then I felt like I should go into some other books and then go back again. So what I did is I picked up market risk once I completed. So there were sections, right? So 3 chapters, 4 chapters, that way sections were there. So one section was completed. So I used to go back to the operational risk, so that it doesn't happen that I ignore totally operational risk. So that's why I used to do those kind of mental preparation.
But simultaneously, you were coming to the lectures also.
Yes. Simultaneously, yeah, in few cases I missed, but then it was consistent, you can say. Okay. And did you solve the question bank immediately after watching the video from April, or you waited for some time? No, I waited for some time because the number of chapters in this book was too many. So I completed close to 40 chapters and then started with preparation. Okay. So when I was giving part 1, so during that time, I used to complete few chapters this week, and then the next week I used to. So there was time advantage during that time, but then
level 1 because the number
yeah,
of chapters
number
are
of chapters were less, so there was a time advantage there. But then in this particular scenario, I feel that there won't be enough time to complete all of my chapters. So that's why I took time to study at least 40% or 50%, and then give the.
so immediately, so side by side, then you're solving also, you're reading new chapters also.
Correct.
Okay. When did you complete your entire first reading of the entire curriculum?
So it was close to October 1st or second week.
Okay. And then what about the solving, the question bank?
Question bank and all. So it went on to November because there was health issues in the family, which due to which I could. So whatever target I used to set for myself, that was not getting achieved because of those 2 or 3 weeks wherein there was a health issue. So it went on to November first week. And
Okay. You were able to complete all the chapters of solving?
No, I completed close to 70%, you can say.
And if you compare level 1 and level 2,
Correct.
What has been your experience in terms of how different is level 2?
Level 2 is totally different than level 1. So the fundamentals are there, which have which have been taught in level 1, but then for level 2 it was totally different, and all of the books were relatively different, and even though the concepts were similar, but then it was expanded on to every bit of thing.
Okay. And throughout this entire preparation, found yourself demotivated or your flow was just broken because of XYZ things?
Yes, there were many instances like that. I thought that I won't be able to give in November 2024, but then at the end of the day, I was thinking about my main goal to clear the exam, and for my career, it was better that I complete it as soon as possible. So that's why that focus was still there, even though it was same in level 1 and level 2, that few point in time you feel that it is getting too much with work, and the work is, well, it was close to 10 and 11 hours, so it was very difficult at some time. So you motivate yourself to pick up, and your aim is to complete the whatever success you have.
So because you cleared level 1, level 2 both in first attempt.
Correct.
And doing that with a job with around 13 years of experience is tough. So again, how did time management happen? How did you manage it throughout both the levels?
So first thing is you need to keep away from all the distractions. So even in my phone as well, I used to switch off all the social media and all. And I had a daily limit of YouTube as well. I set a daily limit of half an hour. So that is the time I would. So that would be during my travel or that time only.
Okay.
So other than that, even if your friends are calling for party or anything like that, so I used to ignore. No.
Okay. Perfect. And then when you completed everything in November first week, did you solve sectional test?
Yes, I did solve sectional test, and so I was able to complete all the sectional tests and also 2 GAP papers.
Okay. GAP paper properly with timed you have solved?
Yes.
What was the score in that?
So it was close to 40.
40, and you were confident because 80 out of 80, 40 questions you got.
So I was like, so when I compared it with level 1, it was very low, because in level 1, out of 100, it was at least 60 and 70. I was scoring in GAP paper as well, it was close to 60.
Okay.
Mock as well, it was close to 70. But then over here, I thought that it is very less, and I was afraid कि होगा नहीं होगा.
But so did you found less time for mocks in the last few days?
Yes. So I had to run through because I had very less time, and so the leaves which I had taken was close to 10 days. So
okay, but you were able to utilize that leave properly.
Correct.
Okay, and then when you went to the actual exam, you started solving.
Yeah.
What happened in that first few hours, 1-2 hours?
So first thing is कि I took the very last day of the exam. So in the Telegram chats and all, I used to get that information that paper is tough and all of them being written. But when I went to the exam, I was of the opinion, whatever be the case, I would just stick to the fact that whatever I would be able to solve, if it is getting closer to 5 minutes, I'll ignore that question
Okay.
totally and come back to it later of the paper. So initially, what I did is solved all the easier question or whatever question was possible for me.
Okay.
And I was able to remember that. So that I scrolled through first, and then at the later of the day, I completed the rest of the question.
How many questions you had flagged, if you remember, in the actual exam?
It was close to 10.
Okay. And but
so out of that, I had written down at least 2 or 3 that I know how. I was confused between the options. So I read through, but then I was confused of those.
Okay. But throughout this entire journey, how many times you have seen the full content, full textbook reading?
So in textbook reading, I can say maybe 5% I've left, but then 95% of the things I have.
But it was only one reading, or more than that?
So for few books, it was 2 readings,
Okay.
but not all of them because there was no time to go through all.
And you mentioned operation risk was slightly tough. Which book was easy for you?
For me, it was market risk and liquidity.
Okay. Okay. Now, on the day of the exam, when you were solving, okay, did you panic by any chance that okay, I'm not getting good answer, or there's confusion?
So since they have initially mentioned that the paper is tough, so my mindset was ki I do not panic, and if I feel like that it is taking a lot of time and it is like getting stuck somewhere, I used to just go into the next question and come back to it later. Because so this was the strategy in level 1 as well, wherein we know that the paper wouldn't be very easy, and GAP has that advantage, and you can say that they are always trying to test people that so in this I felt that English was little tough, and it was not very easy. Some of the questions the answer felt very similar. So
all the options are very similar.
Yeah, you can say 3 options were similar, so it was very difficult to pinpoint exactly which one was correct on.
And whether the questions were very lengthy?
Few number ones were very lengthy, but then the theory part were not that.
And how many calculation questions in your paper?
Close to 20.
You were able to manage all of them properly?
Few of them no, but the rest of them yes. So close to 15 to 16 I was able to.
They were plug and play?
No, there as well.
Understanding is required.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And then the theory questions, out of say around 60 theory questions, how many questions was very tough or moderately tough as per your understanding?
Close to 50% of it was little tough.
Okay, so 30 was manageable, 30 was slightly challenging.
Correct.
Now, when you came out of the exam, what was the number in your mind, or what was the confidence level that you had for the exam?
So my expectation was that I was not 100% sure that I would clear, but then there was a hope that since everyone had a tough paper, so I was hoping that it would go good.
Okay, interesting. What are the quartiles, if you remember, in the order? Market risk.
Yeah, 2 and last one 2. The rest of them were
market risk, credit risk, second quartile. Everything is in third quartile.
Right.
So very very close game, because if you would have got a fourth quartile in any of the operation risk and credit risk, the chances would have been bad.
Right.
So interesting case. Now, if I ask you if you can give 3 tips from your experience of how to prepare for level 2, what would that be?
So first is what is the aim that you are? So there should be an aim, like you want to clear the exam. So there should be a motivation towards it. So if there is no motivation, then it becomes difficult during the second stretch of the exam, wherein it would be too much of work and too much of study.
Right.
Second would be discipline. So you need to be very disciplined about it. So whatever distractions come your way, you should be ignoring it. You know that there is a certain time period wherein you would not want to be disturbed.
Right.
After that, you want to get disturbed. That is fine.
Okay, interesting. And if you look at the level 1, level 2 experience, somebody who is thinking about giving the exam, I mean, from that perspective, if you can highlight what is the benefit of doing FRM?
Firstly is so this is not an easy paper. So basically, you would get a certification which would matter to you in a long run, and for a professional to join the risk part, it is very important, and there is good importance in the companies as well.
Right, because you already have an investment banking experience of around 13 years and you are doing this course. So this could also highlight that yes, it is recognized in the industry.
Correct.
So again, thank you very much, Ashish, for taking out time and talking to us. This conversation is going to be really helpful. A lot of working professionals also to start their journey of upskilling the way you started, and in 2 years you would have been able to complete both the levels, and now you'll be moving towards FRM charter. Correct. So thank you very much for taking out time.
Thank you, sir. It wouldn't have been successful without you.
Thank you.
Your motivation and your guidance was very important.